What's up, Digidestins? This is Kyle D, better known as RideMyAvatar, and today we are going to be trying to build a Abbadomon. This deck is quite interesting. I don't think it's all working pieces yet. I think it needs another wave of support just for it to really pop off, but without further ado, let's dive in the video and talk about it. I know players are very excited for the Negamon, plus with the Abbadomon core. So without further ado, let's try to figure out how we're going to build this deck and make it functional at the same time. So first off, this is your key component. This is the main focus of the deck, is getting to Abbadomon core. So this thing has, you know, it costs for 4 on a Abbadomon, but when one of your opponent's Digimon attacks by returning 4 of the Digi-Eggs Negamon from your trash or your Digimon's Digivolutions to the bottom of the Digi-Egg deck, this Digimon moves to the battle area. So this is pretty useful in all sense of the word, right? So as long as you can get him into the breeding area, and boom, you'll be all set. It has collision, piercing, security attack 1, reboot, and blocker. Moving when digivolving when attacking by placing 3 level 6 or lower Digievolution, well, Digimon cards with Negamon in its text from your trash as the top Digievolution. Delete all your opponent's lowest level Digimon. So he's going to come in and kind of answer most threats when he comes out of breeding. So that's super important to take into account, that we want to take some great value into it. So again, we do have cards like Rareramon. This is just your level 5 on play. When Digivolving, Digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon. You may play a level 4 or lower Digimon card with Negamon in its text from your hand without paying its cost. For every 2 Negamon in your trash from your Digimon's Digivolution card, add 1 to the maximum level. So not bad for its on deletion. So obviously we're going to be playing this at a full. And then we have a Abbadomon. It has, you know, assembly 6, which means it'll come in for a 5 cost on play when Digivolving. If you have 4 or more Negamon in your trash and your Digimon Digivolution cards, you may play 1 core from your hand or trash into an empty breeding area without paying its cost. End of all turns, by placing 1 level 6 or lower card with Negamon in its text from trash as the top Digivolution, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the same level as the card place. So at least it'll have some answering it can do. Very much the core level 6, level 5, and level 7. So you'll be playing this at probably a playset each. We'll have to think about everything else. Let's get into the egg itself. Negamon is basically breeding. You may play 1 Digimon with Negamon in its text from your hand with the play cost reduced by 2 for each Negamon in your trash or Digievolution cards. Further reduce it by 1, then place this Digimon as the played bottom Digievolution card. All turns, this Digimon can't Digivolve, and effects cannot delete or trash it. So pretty solid. And then when all your opponent's Digimon attacks, you may change the attack target to a Negamon card in text. So the main focal point is anything you play, it'll get kind of tucked under. It doesn't matter if it goes to trash, because eventually you'll use the Abbadomon to come in at 5, and boom, you'll be all set. You do have Soundbirdmon as your rookie. Basically on play, reveal the top 3, add 1 Negamon and 1 card with Abbadomon and its text from its name among them to your hand. Return the rest of the bottom of the deck. All Digimon get 1000 DP. So we'll definitely be playing that. You'll be playing this Eismon because this will let you get the early aggression in that you kind of want to have. So yeah. Now it comes down to figuring out what ratios will work here. So most of your plays will come from, you know, Eismon scatter mode. So on play, trash 1 Negamon and its text from your hand to draw 2. You can have up to 50 of this card, but we're gonna go at the route probably 13 right now, and then see what we can fill in for Tamers and other stuff. I don't want to put like 20 of this, because even in, you know, Mother D Reaper style decks, you don't want to have too much, And again, you're going to be cycling in, trying to get this underneath a couple times, reducing its play cost by 2, making this a 3 cost means you're going to need at least some sort of way of gaining memory or having some sort of benefit. So first off, the name of the game is getting Abbadomon to come from that. So let's see, is Genai a valid target that we can do without having to... God, I hate that I don't know how to spell Genai sometimes. Let's see. There are some good tamers like let's see. Genai. So Genai. So reveal the top 5, add 1 level 3 Digimon card and 1 non-white tamer among them to your hand. Return when opponents level 5 or higher. You may suspend this tamer, move one of your Digimon from the breeding area to the battle area. That might actually see some little bit of play as a option, because then you don't have to do opponents serve when one of your opponent's Digimon attacks by returning 4 Negamon from trash or your Digievolutions to the bottom of the deck. Move this Digimon. So most of the time your opponent's going to be moving anyway, so attacking you anyway. So this might actually be something worth considering, because again, most of the time they're going to be swinging with level 5. If Genai's out, this means that we can punish them a little bit. So I think maybe 2 of will be good. I know that you don't have enough level 3s to make this matter, but we could put in some blockers, black memory negators or something like that. Let's type in rookies. Again, just something to slam down is very useful, you know, because we're not going to be able to digivolve on top of this, right? You can't digivolve, you're not going to be digging much, but you want to have threats in a half. I mean, anything that can trash X to kind of do something might help out. This is Dark Dragon, this is a Dark Dragon, this is a Avion. So there's not much we can do with, you know, Searcher ability. Like something trash one might be useful, but I think we need to go with, you know, players cannot reduce play costs, which another option is we can use these as a kind of floodgates possibilities. I think floodgates are decent enough. If the play cost 4 or less. Problem is scatter mode is higher. I would have said if scatter mode was a 4 cost, like its other counterpart, we could have played Dorumon, because if it was hidden security, at least it'll come out, it'll play, you know, you'll get the Eismon scatter mode out of the deal. You know, Soundbird on play, we already have the Soundbird. So the question comes down to, what can we really do to slow down our opponent's game plan? Can't gain memory other than by tamer effects. This could see some play in this deck. Because being able to negate, you know, stop reduced play cost, stop this, you know, we don't care if we're slamming them down, right? And we have space, so why not do a little bit of floodgate dancing around our opponent a little bit and force our opponent into awkward plays is kind of what our goal is, right? I don't think, you know, I don't think we're going to be playing Kawagamon. It's tough, right? We have the upgraded Shumon with Zenemon. We have Chikurimon as a way of negating stuff. We have negate memory, negate reducing play cost. Is there one that says cannot play by effect? I'm forgetting if Black has that. I don't think so, and that's going to be a challenge if they don't have that. What do you do? Composite. No. If only. If only it was just draw, discard a bunch of cards. But I think what we're going to do is tie. So Memset or tie might be a benefit to us. I mean, we're going to be drawing a bunch of cards anyway, because scatter mode's going to do that anyway, right? But we need to have some way of surviving till then. So Taikamiya is going to be at least one attack target to switch because we can force that. So we can go 3 Taikamiya here. I think we could easily add one of the field spells, kind of shenanigans, to boost up our bodies. But let's see. I think youth might be a little bit of a benefit here. As just a couple, at least 3, just to kind of speed up our strategy. Because, I mean, we don't even have to do that. We could just do memory boosts and stuff like that. I think we're going to bring this down to 12. Because again, we're not really digivolving much, right? Most of this is on play. Oh, we can't use Shikurimon if we're doing that because we're kind of doing that with our guys. So it's definitely use Zenemon at a full playset just to knock. I mean, even just doing Chumon plus Zenemon might be enough to frustrate opponents because Chu. Because again, stopping them from memory gaining might be enough to slow them down a little bit. So I think we want to do also Laplace. We'll add 3 Laplace. Now, I think this is definitely a rough draft, but it's not terrible for a rough draft. Because memory blockers are going to shut down any shenanigans, and even worst case, the problem comes down to we're going to be capped at 3 or whatever our opponent's choking us at. I mean, yes, we're going to be able to reduce play costs of like Soundbirdmon to 1, this down to 3, this down to 5, this down to smaller numbers, but it's like that challenging part, right? I think we need the memory blockers, but we could just easily just go, you know what, screw that, when we'll just go full mem boost swings. So let's see, mem boost. I mean, yeah, I do like having the memory blockers just to slow down the opponent's game strats because, again, players are playing these memory boost. So we could easily just go memory boost full send. And to be honest with you, we pick another memory boost to go full send and then make our opponents sad when we can just pop off. Because even with Laplace Demon, and we're just really going at it to town, like even this, return 1 card with Negamon and its text from trash to hand. Assembly, it's got rush and collision, so it'll force blocks. Especially if we can get the assembly going. For 3, we'll have the Eismon to help us draw cards. I don't think we're going to be using trainings, but memory boost for sure. Let's see. What is the next black one we can use? Let's find the LM stuff. Problem is we don't... We're not going to be digivolving much. I think having Genai is another option so you don't have to use the Abado's ability. But yeah, you want to have them, but when moving, you're going to be placing cards anyway. So you don't need to waste your cores doing that. So yeah, we're just going to go full send, memory boost run. And if our opponent, like again, if they hit these stuff, this is going to be annoying for them anyway. So if we go 4-4, we don't have trainings. We're not going to be evolving up anyway. I mean, yes, we could do it with RideMyAvatar, but most players have stopped using memory negators. So we have a battle core, rare, Eismon scatter modes. We got Eismon, Soundbird, Negamon. I think Genai still has some value here, even though we're not going to be able to get anything truly valuable. But when an opponent's level 5 or higher attacks by spending this Tamer, move one of your Digimon with breeding area to the battle area, means we don't have to rely on activating Albado's core as frequently. We can just set up and use like a Abbadomon to kind of do that, so that we can get the core set up constantly, and then basically we can just do it for free with Genai. Yes, you can do it as an option of core, but I feel like if we can do this a turn and a half sooner, your opponent's going to have a bad time. And I think your opponent has to play around Get-Eye now and realizing that, oh yeah, you don't have all your Negamons ready or something like that. Or if, let's say, the Negamons already kind of went to, you know, the spiritual realm and already been reset, you're not going to be able to do another battle core anytime soon. So I think being able to cheat out a second battle core might be the better play. And just using it as a resource with Get-Eye, I think is pretty good. And then having Tai being able to draw you a card, boost up the battle core a little bit stronger. You know, just having all these keywords might help us out in the long term wise. And I think just having the memory boost might be the play. Sadly, it's one of those things that we do have use and Get-Eye. So if they answer most of your stuff, Youth can at least set you back up to get your trash filled up. I mean, we could, like, the problem is we don't have enough valid targets to even just play Pride Memory Boost. And that's like one of the bigger things that I would kind of think we would want to try to do. But I think at the end of the day, with Laplace Demon forcing your opponent to attack will help. We could just technically just take Analog Youth completely out and then maybe think about something that might help out with I think Youth is just a way of getting core into trash as soon as possible. And yes, we're going to be trying to do this with Eismon Scatter Mode as well, but Youth is just a good memory choke turn. So I think that's kind of just how we want to play it out. I know Get-Eye's not really gaining us any tempo with his on play, but you know, if we play him down at the right time and early enough, we can always guarantee like our battle cores coming out in a way. I think just because this synergizes with the strategies trying to do already. But all in all though, guys, I think this is probably a good starting point. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll catch you next one. Peace.